Will the clerk please call the roll?
Benson. Eckhart.
Here.
Hannaford.
Here.
Melton.
Here.
Miller.
Here.
Valencia.
Here.
Fisher. Stelling.
Here. All right, there being a quorum, we'll move to item 4, discussion and action on the consent agenda. All of the following items, which concern reports and items of a routine nature normally approved at City Council meetings, will be approved by one vote of the Council. Any member of the Council desiring to discuss an item on the consent agenda may request that it be removed from the consent agenda and placed for discussion as the next item on the regular agenda. It will then be considered separately. The consent agenda consists of the consideration and action on the following items: approval of the minutes of the regular meeting of June 6, 2016, and approval of claims in the amount of $154,609.95 and payroll expenses of $95,824.78. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved. Second.
I have a motion by Councilman Miller, second by Dr. Hannaford, to approve the consent agenda. Is there any further discussion? Please call the vote.
Miller.
Yes.
Hannaford.
Yes.
Valencia.
Yes.
Stelling.
Yes.
Eckhart.
Yes.
Melton.
Yes.
Item 6, reports from boards and officers. Item A is the Arena Authority meeting from June 7th, 2016.
Well, when I'm reviewing the minutes, it appears that they spent the majority of their time discussing the design plans with Pfeiffer Complex Design. I think they received an economic impact study from the Brazos County Expo Complex because it was something that was similar in structure. The Pfeiffer Complex Design team had been there since the previous Sunday, and they were wrapping up their evaluations of the structures at Woods County Fairgrounds. They did note some deficiencies in ADA compliance and fire alarms with current structures. And that, other than the approval of minutes, that was the bulk of their meeting and claims.
Does council have any questions? All right, thank you, Joe Don. Item B is the library board meeting from June 7th. Councilman Valencia.
Mayor, I was unable to attend the meeting, but I did kind of get an update. It was a fairly routine meeting. The main topic of discussion was the fact that they were actually working on the roof during the board meeting. That project had begun. Some discussion about their summer program and, of course, preparing to implement the budget for the next year and the purchases and things that they'll be doing for FY17.
Does council have any questions for Mr. Valencia? How is progress on the roof? Is it complete?
The roof is complete. Report from the last rain, from after the last rain, where there were no leaks. We're looking to see what we needed to be doing on the inside of the building at this time. But that job is finished.
Item C is the cemetery board meeting from June 8, 2016, and we do have a cemetery board member with us today, so Linda, thank you for being here.
Unfortunately, there was no quorum at that meeting, and another meeting, a follow-up meeting, has not yet been scheduled.
Item D is a special, or does the council have any questions? Item D is the special tourism board meeting from June 8th, 2016.
That meeting was to act on one item, which was the Alva High Middle School baseball tournament for an amount not to exceed $5,430, and that item was passed and approved.
Any questions for Joe Don on the tourism board meeting? Item E is the Airport Commission meeting from June 13th, 2016. Councilman Miller?
If you look at the agenda, the commission did accept lease agreements from HE Land and Cattle for $62 an acre. That's slightly higher than it was the last time that was leased out. That's for the crop land around the airport and for all the land around the county sheds. Paragraph. Then there was a lengthy, well, we had action to advertise for the South Shore hangar repairs. The South Shore hangars have leaked water every time it rained for the past 20 years, according to some people. So we took action to bid that out as a design-build project so that bidders could have the opportunity to design their own repair for that based upon what they deem is what's going to fix that problem more effectively than the commission will look at their bids and designs to take action on that. There's a lengthy discussion on weekend staffing. The airport's having a large challenge finding help for the weekend, and people only wanting to work weekends for 16 hours a week. It's just hard to find somebody that's qualified to do that, and will be even harder again now. The last gentleman that was hired knowing we knew that he was looking for full-time help. Apparently he found it and has since resigned, I believe, after his 1 or 2 weekends of working. So
Actually, just one, yeah.
More staff on the weekend, and possibly looking at hiring a full-time or seasonal employee to handle or to give help during the mowing season, but that is still being discussed. There was a discussion on a volunteer airport program, basically something similar to what the hospital has, the prison, with volunteer help, maybe making up for some of those shortfalls of help on the weekends. So Joe Don's working on development of that policy to bring back to the board for a future date. That would be it after the routine items that the council always discusses.
Does council have any questions for Mr. Miller?
Mr. Miller, were volunteers covered under our general liability?
That they are covered under liability, but not under workers' comp.
Any further questions? Item F is a special planning commission meeting from June 14th, 2016.
Well, just to give you a synopsis of that meeting, there was a lengthy discussion about the Integris application. There were only 4 members of the Planning Commission present. And the vote that was taken was a split vote, 2 being for the denial of the application, 1 being against, and 1 abstention. After reviewing the Planning Commission ordinance a little closer, 4 members constitute a quorum, but it takes the majority of all the members comprising the Planning Commission to make a recommendation. They did not have that. I did send correspondence to the chairperson this morning to see how they would like to proceed. If there were additional information, wanted to have it on a future planning commission date. If there were specific questions they would like to try to have, the planning commission would like to have answered from either Integris or Share, and so that we could get that to them and get those questions answered specifically, so that there could be a recommendation made. But right now, at this point, there is no recommendation from that committee, and we are working to proceed forward.
Council have any questions for Mr. Dunham? Thank you, Joe Don. Alva Recreation Complex Board meeting from June 15th, 2016. Councilman Fisher's not here. Mr. Dunham?
That was a regularly routine meeting. There was approval of minutes and claims, approval of the financial statement, and reports given. But there was no other action taken at that meeting.
Questions for Mr. Dunham on the rec board? Item H is a Tourism Commission meeting from June 15th.
I do not know for sure if if they had a quorum at that meeting, but it was a relatively routine meeting, just minutes and financials, if there was a quorum, and I'm not sure at this time whether there was a quorum or not.
Mr. Miller, or any questions on the regular tourism meeting from the council? Okay. Mr. Miller, you give the Finance Committee report from this afternoon.
We had a relatively short meeting today. Regular claims, there wasn't anything really outstanding, with the exception of a $28,000 purchase for a police car and a $14,000 purchase of Jet A. Everything else was routine payments. You can see that in the finance report if you'd like. Didn't really have any new business that we discussed. We did have a short discussion over presentation and reporting of our financial information, trying to make that a little easier for people to read and understand maybe outside of our meeting. So we'll continue to work on that in the future. Other than that, if there's any questions?
Does council have any questions for Mr. Miller? Item J is the City Mayor's report. I have some appointments on the agenda this evening. I do have open positions yet to, which I'm seeking commitments on for Cemetery Board and the Board of Adjustments. Hopefully I'll have commitments from citizens willing to serve on those before they meet for their next meetings. So, other than that, I'd be happy to answer any questions from the council. Item K is the City Business Manager's report.
First of all, I'd like to kind of report on the streets. The city crews are working to repair the streets that are slated to be completed. We are about 3-4 weeks behind due to the rains. They recently finished the asphalt overlay on Church Street. They are currently working on 12th Street. They had gotten up to 12th and Locust last week and ran into some problems, and they were going to have to redo the corner of 12th and Locust. They started grinding that up and found out that was going to be a bigger repair job than what they first anticipated. So we're going to get it patched up where it's drivable. Continue on with our asphalt overlays, and then come back in the fall and replace that corner. We do expect by the time fall comes around of 2016, we'll be back on track. The water project we're working on right now is the Sealing Street project. We're about halfway to 3/4 of the way done with that. And we expect to be finished, bringing that to completion soon, within the next week or two. They will be working in the area to clean it up after they're done, settling the ditches, and we will be installing sod and bringing the area back up to its as close to original state as what we can get it. The T-hanger bids for construction. The city is currently seeking for a nested 8-pack of T-hangers. The bids are out and will be opened up on June 30th. It is a design build, so after June 30th, the construction committee, the T-hanger evaluation committee, will need to meet and evaluate those proposals before they make a recommendation to the airport commission. On June 10th, the library roof was finished and have been reported no leaks. We're currently working to wrap up our FY 15-16 year. Currently working with Crawford Associates to prepare and have a site visit planned for August 29th, and they'll be preparing the required audit reports for auditors to examine and issue an opinion. As far as the financials for the city of Alva at the end of June, would like to point out that we did begin this year with about $900,000, which was collected in previous years for projects that we were working on this year. Through our normal collections, we have collected about $13,751,000, which is down, or excuse me, $11,778,000, which is down slightly from, or about 14% from the year before. Sales tax collections for the year, we've got the final numbers in on that, and the sales tax collections are down 23% from last year. The expenditures that we've made are at about encumbrances are about $14 million. We're about 1% below what our budget was, and that $900,000 will pay for those special projects this budget year. Those special projects being the Young Street Waterline project, the AMR project, the airport hangar construction, and the airport lighting. Those were all special projects this year, and we did have some additional expenses for concrete around the concession stands at the ARC softball and baseball fields. But other than that, I'd be happy to try to answer any questions you may have at this time.
Council have any questions for Mr. Dunham? Thank you, Joe Don. Item 7 is discussion and action to deny tort claim for Alan Lasco as recommended by Oklahoma Municipal Assurance Group.
On April 26th, Mr. Lasco submitted a tort claim against the city of Alva in the amount of $2,371.69 for a sewer backup. The claim was turned over to OMAG on May 5th for investigation and processing. Oklahoma law states that the municipality is not the insurer of the sanitary sewer system and is not automatically liable for damages as a result of overflows. The water department was notified of the problem on April 26th, responded, and resolved the issue within the hour on that same day. There was no prior knowledge of a problem at this address, and this is not an address we have had repeated issues with that we would need to address. OMAG recommends the denial of this claim.
Is there any discussion on this item? If there is no discussion, I would entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to deny the tort claim for Alan Lasco as recommended by the Oklahoma Municipal Assurance Group.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilman Miller and a second by Dr. Hannaford to deny tort claim for Alan Lasco as recommended by Oklahoma Municipal Assurance Group. Is there any further discussion? Please call the vote.
Miller,
Yes.
Hannaford,
Yes.
Nelson,
Yes.
Valencia,
Yes.
Stelling,
Yes.
Eckhart.
Yes.
Item 8 is discussion and action to approve the renewal of the City of Alva Workers' Compensation Insurance and authorize the mayor to sign the 2016-2017 renewal participation agreement in the amount of $150,362.
This is up from last year. by about $14,000, due primarily because of claims and increased payroll. Over the past year, for one of the things that drove it the most was the 2015 claims, which we had an established loss fund of about $62,000, and currently have claims paid or outstanding of about $82,000. Increased payroll was about $321,000, and that's the way this is calculated. We are talking with OMAG, or I am talking with OMAG to have them double check, have their auditors double check, their underwriters double check to make sure that this is appropriate, and but it would not be any more than what's stated here, $150,362,000. May be able to get it for a little less, but it won't be any more. That will be paid quarterly.
Do we bid this out?
This we did not bid out. There are only about 2 companies in the state that'll even do workers' comp, and they both use Consolidated Benefits as their underwriter.
This is what we received a refund on last year.
We did receive a refund on this last year, yes. Based on claims, those refunds run a couple of years behind. Based on what claims and payments, I would not expect a refund in 2013 for the 2000, because they submitted for 2012 that year. I would not expect one for 2013 or 14 based on claims paid and loss runs.
Is there any further discussion on this item? If not, I would entertain a motion.
I move to approve the renewal of the City of Alva's workers' compensation insurance and authorize the mayor to sign 2016-2017 renewal participation agreement in the amount of $150,362. Second.
I have a motion by Councilman Valencia, second by Councilman Eckhart, to approve the renewal of the City of Alva workers' compensation insurance and authorize the mayor to sign the 2016-2017 renewal participation agreement in the amount of $150,362. Is there any further discussion? Please call the vote.
Valencia,
Yes.
Eckhart,
Yes.
Hannaford,
Yes.
Melton,
Yes.
Stelling,
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Item 9 is vote to acknowledge the receipt of the Alva Hospital Authority Annual Written Report as required by Article 3, Section 26-81 of the Alva Code of Ordinances. Share Medical Center has submitted a written summative report accompanying their most recent financial audit, as well as a letter requesting sometime in the future to provide a presentation to the council on this report. My understanding of the ordinance is that we received this by June 30th of the year. This is our last chance to receive this report.
to acknowledge the receipt of the Alva Hospital Authority annual written report as required by Article 3, Section 26 through 81 of the Alva Code of Ordinances.
Second.
Have a motion by Councilman Miller, second by Dr. Hannaford, to acknowledge the receipt of the Alva Hospital Authority annual written report as required by Article 3, Section 26-81 of the Alva Code of Ordinances. Is there any further discussion? Please call the vote.
Miller,
Yes.
Hannaford,
Yes.
Valencia,
Yes.
Stelling,
Yes.
Melvin,
Yes.
Eckhart.
Yes.
Item 10 is discussion and action on the reappointment of Marilyn Klein to the Alva Library Board for a 3-year term ending in June 2019. I have spoken to Ms. Klein regarding reappointment. She is agreeable to continue with her service in this capacity. I am recommending the reappointment of Marilyn Klein to the Alva Library Board.
Maybe we accept the recommendation for the reappointment of Marilyn Klein to the Alva Library Board for a 3-year term ending in June 2019.
I'll second.
I have a motion by Councilman Valencia, second by Councilman Eckhart, to reappoint Marilyn Klein to the Alva Library Board for a 3-year term ending in June 2019. Is there any further discussion? Please call the vote.
Valencia,
Yes.
Eckhart,
Yes.
Hannaford,
Yes.
Melvin,
Yes.
Stelling,
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Item 11 is discussion and action on the appointment of Bryce Benson to the Tourism Tax Commission for a 3-year term ending in June 2019. Can we clarify, is that a 3-year or a 4-year term? I show a 4-year term.
Okay, then that was my mistake. I thought they were 3-year terms.
Okay. I have,
That'd be on the next 3 items. They're all listed as 3-year terms for the tourism tax.
okay.
I put that down there wrong.
I have spoken with Mr. Bickerstaff and Mr. Benson. I thank Mr. Bickerstaff for his service to the Tourism Tax Commission, and we'll note that he was integral in the establishment of this commission and getting it to the point where it is today. At this time, I would like to recommend Mr. Benson to take Mr. Bickerstaff's place on this commission for the 4-year term. Is there any discussion, or would there be a motion?
Make a motion to accept the appointment of Bryce Benson to the Tourism Tax Commission for a 3-year term ending in, 4-year term ending in June of 2020.
2020.
That's a TV show.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilman Miller, second by Dr. Hannaford, to appoint Bryce Benson to the Tourism Tax Commission for a 4-year term ending in June 2020. Is there any further discussion? Please call the vote.
Miller,
Yes.
Hannaford,
Yes.
Melvin,
Yes.
Valencia,
Yes.
Eckhart,
Yes.
Stelling.
Yes.
Item 12 is discussion and action on the appointment of Juanita Dotson to the Tourism Tax Commission for a 4-year term ending in 2020. I have received a letter of resignation from Janet Valencia from the Tourism Tax Commission. Did thank her for her service and had spoken with Mrs. Dotson regarding taking her place for this commission. She is agreeable, and I am recommending Juanita Dotson to the Tourism Tax Commission.
Make a motion to approve the appointment of Juanita Dotson to the Alva Tourism Tax Commission for a 4-year term ending in June 2020.
Second.
I have a motion by Dr. Hannaford and a second by Councilman Miller to appoint Juanita Dotson to the Tourism Tax Commission for a 4-year term ending in June 2020. Is there any further discussion? Please call the vote.
Hannaford,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Valencia,
Yes.
Melton,
Yes.
Stelling,
Yes.
Eckhart.
Yes.
Item 13 is discussion and action on the reappointment of Terry Parsons to the Tourism Tax Commission for a 4-year term ending in June 2020. Mrs. Parson holds a seat that is to be held by a business person in the hotel motel industry on this commission. Have discussed with her reappointment. She is willing to be reappointed to this commission, and therefore I do recommend reappointment of Terry Parsons to the Tourism Tax Commission.
I'll make the motion to reappoint Terry Parsons to the Alva Tourism Tax Commission for a 4-year term ending in June of 2020.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilman Eckhart, second by Dr. Hannaford, to reappoint Terry Parsons to the Tourism Tax Commission for a 4-year term ending in June 2020. Is there any further discussion? Please call the vote.
Eckhart,
Yes.
Hannaford,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Valencia,
Yes.
Melton,
Yes.
Stelling.
Yes.
Item 14 is remarks and inquiries by citizens. Public comment will be limited to 2 minutes per speaker, and the speaker must identify himself or herself. If there is anyone who would like to address the council, this is your time to do so. Would anybody care to? Thank you. Item 15 is remarks and inquiries by council members. Well, by the time we meet next, I was going to congratulate Mr. Fisher on his engagement and upcoming marriage. If anybody didn't know that, but so Mr. Fisher will be married on the 4th of July, and wanted to congratulate him, but beforehand. But since he's not here, you can read about it in the paper. Are there any other remarks? Huh?
I hope she knew.
Oh, she knew. I don't know what she was thinking, but she knew. If there are no other remarks and inquiries, we'll adjourn the meeting of the Alva City Council. Thank you all for attending. We will now open the Alva Utility Authority meeting. Will the clerk please call the roll?
I'm sorry. Benson, Hannaford,
Here.
Miller,
Here.
Stelling,
Here.
Melton,
Here.
Fisher, Eckhart,
Here.
Valencia.
Here.
Item 3 is discussion and action on the consent agenda. All of the following items which concern reports and items of a routine nature normally approved at AUA meetings will be approved by one vote of the authority. Any trustee desiring to discuss an item on the consent agenda may request that it be removed from the consent agenda and placed for discussion as the next item on the regular agenda. It will then be considered separately. The consent agenda consists of the consideration and action on the following items: approval of the minutes of the regular meeting of June 6, 2016, and approval of claims in the amount of $88,478.53 and payroll expenses of $24,753.58. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilman Miller, second by Dr. Hannaford, to approve the consent agenda. Is there any further discussion? Please call the vote.
Miller,
Yes.
Hannaford,
Yes.
Valencia,
Yes.
Eckhart,
Yes.
Stelling,
Yes.
Melton.
Yes.
We'll close the meeting of the Alva Utility Authority and open the meeting of the Alva Economic Development Authority. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Benson. Milton.
Here.
Eckhart.
Here.
Miller.
Here.
Valencia.
Here.
Fisher. Hannaford.
Here.
Stelling.
Item 3 is discussion and action on the consent agenda. All of the following items which concern reports and items of a routine nature normally approved at AEDA meetings will be approved by one vote of the board. Any trustee desiring to discuss an item on the consent agenda may request that it be removed from the consent agenda and placed for discussion as the next item on the regular agenda. It will then be considered separately. The consent agenda consists of the consideration and action on the following items. Item A, approval of the minutes of the regular meeting of June 6, 2015. And item B, approval of claims in the amount of $39,082.46 and payroll expenses of $5,584.34. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion by Councilman Miller, a second by Dr. Hannaford. To approve the consent agenda, is there any further discussion? Please call the vote.
Miller.
Yes.
Hannaford.
Yes.
Milton.
Yes.
Stelling.
Yes.
Eckhart.
Yes.
Valencia.
Yes.
Thank you. We stand adjourned.